Hello, my friends. Today is June the 8th, and this is a psychic reading for you if this is your birth date. I do psychic readings and healing work, 38 years now, transdrum journeys, healing work, various modalities, and psychic readings via the internet or from my place in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Check out my credits. This is a 4 card pull for the year to follow, a general energy card for the year, a challenge you might face this year, an action you could take to stay in balance, and an outcome or synopsis card. This is approximately 7 to 10 minutes, so bear with me. This is the general energy card of the year, the fault line. And the fault line talks about times when things have been slowly breaking apart over time, like two um, systems that come up against each other and squeeze at each other, and then inch away from each other and keep on going. It's nobody's fault. It's nobody's uh, creation. It's just a product of something that over time has needed to come together, crash together quite possibly, and then separate. It might have been something that's been causing you a lot of consternation for a while, and frustration and resentment on some levels. But it's also something that if you've done a lot of work around releasing and surrendering and learning how to not blame, then you can let things crack apart, and you can move away with a sense of grace and trust that there's nothing you could have done differently. You didn't cause this to happen, and that this was a natural progression of learning how to surrender and let go and move on, and forgive and own and forgive, and keep on going. So that is the general energy of the year. And what does that mean? Particularly for you, June the 8th, folks. Page of Swords. Page of Swords is generally, a youthful energy, looking to study something that feels right in their heads, that makes good sense to them, that attracts their mind deeply, attracts your mind deeply. Your challenge, I think, is that you have something that's attracting your mind deeply, but for some reason something crashes, the fault line. Something crashes around your ability to keep going with the studies that you really feel are important to you, and a part of your makeup, and a part of your path, and a part of your great desires to learn. But for some reason, something is cracking that apart. Maybe it's a financial reason, maybe it's a physical reason that gets in the way, maybe it's a willpower reason. You can't push your will to go beyond what is presented to you in the moment. And that's frustrating for any page, because the page is the doer. Page wants to get out, even if it's by themselves, and study what they want to study if they're a sword, or practice what they want to practice if they're a pentacle, or open their hearts in the ways that they want to open their hearts if they're a cup. It's so for swords, it's about studies, it's about understandings, it's about analysis, it's about communication, it's about learning something deeper and deeper and deeper that makes analytical sense and to pursue. But you can't, for some reason this year. Something gets in the way. There's that fault line. And maybe you're blaming someone for it, and maybe you're letting go of it in a more gentle way. I think that's always the challenge, to keep letting go of something that we are really sure that we want to follow. But maybe it doesn't mean that it's ended, and I think that's the important part. I don't think that what you are studying, it has ended, and that it's the end of the story. And maybe you just gotta let the stages of development come that take you back to where you know you want to be at some point in the future. Here's the action card, butterfly. It's all about stages. The 4 stages of a moth or a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. Pronounced stages of development, a thought, uh, uh, a pulling together, uh, uh, morphing, and then a creation. It's about levels of attainment, and each comes in its own time, in its own ripeness, in its own need to change and let go of what it was in the past. If you're a pupa, you're not a butterfly, and you're not a caterpillar. Change, moving around in the ways you're in a digestion phase, in a gestation phase into becoming, and you don't necessarily know yet what you're going to become. You're just surrendered and going along for the ride, and I think that's ultimately what this time is all about for you. Fault lines happen because of karma, something we've drawn to us. Fault lines happen because, it's in our path, and now it's no longer in our path, and we have to make new decisions. And so if we can go about those new decisions with a sense of trust and clarity, a sense of forgiveness of what didn't come, a sense of getting in touch with our grief, because we didn't get what we want to get. We're not getting what we want to get in the time that we want to get it, in the path that we want to get it, in the logical way that we want to get it. Swords, we want things to play out in a logical way, but life is not logical, and happenings are not logical, and faults that separate things are not logical, but they are part of the progression of being in human form, of being of this earth. And if you're of your mind, it's hard sometimes to remember your body, and to remember timing, and to remember patience, and to remember perseverance gets you there, and to keep surrendering and letting go, so that a new stage can develop and the new understanding can develop. And this is an initiation, another initiation into the new level of being. Don't give up on your dreams, but allow your dreams to shift as needed, as necessary, with what is presented to you. Learn how to, move more lightly, move more graciously, move more gracefully, move more in tune with what is presented to you. You're going to get there. You're going to go to where you need to go. If this is the study that's appropriate to you and for you in your life, it will keep coming back in the times and the spaces that is necessary. Trust that. If it's not the study, or if it's a different sense of the study that needs to be presented, maybe this is the thing that really needs to crack you open to seeing something new and bringing something higher into it. Butterfly is all about, I think, the sense of mind and the allowance of stages, and the just the perseverance of each stage to go through it and become it, and then let go of it as it shifts into the next level of being. And that's, for humans, that's hard to do. We want things now. We want things as they are. We want things in this time. And it just doesn't work that way. And as you go through this, I think your synopsis card is, there will be teachers and helpers along the way who will guide you along the way, if you open to them, if you ask for them. And regardless of whether you get the outside help, or it just comes through in your own practices, in your own understandings, in your own journeys along the way, you at some point become the teacher that you wish to become. I think this is a lot about using your mind to teach the highest good to the greatest number of people. What more does a teacher want than to spread their wisdom, and to give their thoughts, and to provide their analysis of rightness and truth, and honor and dignity. There's a nobleness to the mind, the highest sense of mind, when it's looking at truth and fairness and justice and equality, and the greatest wisdoms possible to share for the highest good of all of humanity. And I think ultimately this is where you're going, and this is the levels of practice you need to go through, and you need to face things that the fault line that break down right in front of you, even though you might have known for a long time that you would have to separate at some point from what is happening, and you'd have to go in a whole nother direction, because the gap has gotten too big to be able to traverse any longer, and a new direction is required, and a letting go is required, and a surrender is letting go is required, without blame, to the best of your ability, without blame, self blame or blame of other. Just let what has died die, and let go, and go in a new direction. You can come back to something that is appropriate in the right time and place. That's what Butterfly says. Aho.